So even though you're wearing makeup, you're looking nice today.
Oh man, you could just kill them.
You couldn't, because there'd be nobody to build anything or mine anything or research anything or turn anything on or repair anything or drive anything or climb anything.
Well, like women don't drive or climb.
But they don't drive big trucks. They don't usually drive buses. They don't usually drive trains.
There's a female bus driver in Bystrica. I know that doesn't mean that they usually do that.
That makes my point. That makes my point, because it's so rare that you actually have to go, oh wow, there is one.
It is here, but actually, elsewhere, it's not that unusual.
Elsewhere, right? It's less unusual. Women are so desperate for jobs.
It's less unusual in Britain, for example, to have a woman.
It's still pretty unusual. I mean, the ratio must be like 100 to 1 or something, right?
I guess, I don't know.
Something like that.
I have no idea what the ratio is. I don't know.
You don't know?
It's probably higher than the ratio for a nice bus driver that actually smiles at you.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if it's a man or a woman. They have to smile.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. There was this one nice bus driver in Bystrica who used to smile.
Just one?
Yeah, he did the Malachowska when we lived before.
Oh, okay.
To town and back. And he's so nice. He was so nice. He always smiled and he always started to talk to me and to the kids. He wasn't a psycho. He wasn't hitting on me. He was actually really nice to everybody.
Yeah. If anyone can hear a strange noise in the background, it sounds like drilling.
Jasmine is brushing Winnie Pig's teeth.
Okay, what is Winnie Pig and how did Winnie Pig... Oh, wait, we haven't even started the podcast yet. We haven't.
We're not live.
We're not live yet. We're not live yet. Okay, we'll go live in a second. Let's... I ought to type in what this is.
This is war.
I don't think it's that.
Isn't it that every day? Roar.
It was about an hour ago.
Do you need me?
5.
Do you need me to spell check
4, 3, 2.
Booyah. What?
I feel sorry for the people online because they miss the chatter before we start, which actually appears on the audio podcast. And I think the chatter before we start is
take it. By all means. Take it, empty it.
Jazzy wants your wallet.
Yeah.
There's nothing in it, I imagine.
There's a lot of cards.
Credit, eh?
No, really.
Credit, eh?
There's am I allowed to swear? I'm going to do that a lot today.
You are not fucking allowed to swear. I'll tell you that right now.
Those silly little plastic cards, those shop kind of cards things, you know.
What the discount get 5 cents off a toothbrush after buying 500 liters of
dishwashing powder.
Yeah.
Dishwashing
powder doesn't come in liters, I don't think.
Probably not.
I'd like 5 liters of powder, please.
I don't use dishwashing powder.
She's insane.
Anyway. So can I hold the wall? Can I hold it? Would you prefer if I hold you?
The thing is, the wall already has greasy marks on it because somebody. It's actually got footprints on it.
Because it can't stand still.
Oh, then I wonder where Will gets that one. Yeah. Look, it's just that the body net is naturally greasy and sweats out, and so
I'm gonna hold on to you then, like this.
What you can't stand without holding on to something.
Well, not if I'm doing yoga.
Look, we'll do something else. I don't know. Do yogurt. I don't know. Do something different.
It's not a bad idea.
Why do you have to stand on one leg?
I don't know. I don't know why I do that. stork thing. I don't know. Just
Do you remember of the stork family?
yes.
Unstorking, believable. Right. Now, there was something that happened. I mentioned the pre-ramble for that people on Facebook don't get, that only the podcast hardcore people get.
We were saying something. What were we saying?
Weenie pig.
Weenie pig.
There was a strange noise in the background,
Yeah.
and it happened to be Jasmine using an electric toothbrush to do something.
To weenie pig. Just probably brushing his teeth, even though we're not quite sure which body part it really was.
I don't even know what weenie pig is.
Weenie pig is a horse, but Zora thinks it's a guinea pig. Because it's a horse in the shape of a ball.
Whoa, slow down. You lost me at
Weenie pig is a horse in the shape of a ball that therefore looks like a guinea pig. And his name is Mr. Weenie Pig, which is a combination of Mr. Weenie from the cartoon, from the what's it called? The hunting season cartoon, and the guinea pig.
Open season.
Open season, sorry.
I know that.
So Mr. Weenie and guinea pig together is Mr. Weenie Pig. Jasmine.
No, don't do that.
Can you give me Zora? Can you hand me the weenie pig?
No,
you hand me Mr. Weenie Pig so that I can show it.
Oh, look at what Jazzy's doing. That's great, Jazzy.
Jasmine
I love that.
Aligning my coins because she
all the way up her
got
leg.
hold of my
That's incredible. She's doing it
wallet.
on both her legs. Wow.
And she's...
That's incredible. Okay, so if you're watching the live Facebook stream, the live Facebook video, I just took it out of your hand. I'm sorry.
It's Mr. Weenie Pig here.
This is...
the horse in the shape of a ball.
Yeah.
Can't really see it properly.
How do you know it's a horse?
Well, because it's got a mane here, like a horse.
Look, I had one of those. I'm not a horse.
It's a punk.
Yeah.
And it's got a horse tail here. See? And it's got
There are at least about 500 different animals that have that kind of thing on their rear end.
And it has hooves. You see here?
Whoa. Wait. First of all, that doesn't look like a mane. Second of all, this tail could be anything. Third of all, there are no hooves. These things that you have pointed out are not real.
Okay, check it out. It's got horse ears. Right?
No. They're more like bat ears. They're more like bat ears than horse ears.
I don't think you can see the face, but it's obviously horse's face. Right.
Whoa. First of all, it's bat ears. A horse has a long face, right? I mean, that's why you can't draw it properly.
It's a ball. You can't have a ball with a long face because then it won't be a ball, will it? So, yeah.
But it can't be anything else either.
It's a horse. It's definitely a horse.
Well.
Listen, I worked with horses. I know what a horse looks like.
You did. If you think this looks like a horse, then it was not horses you worked with.
I used to ride horses.
I'm
pretty sure that this is a horse.
I'd like to see you ride this.
Okay, but I'm not going to do it live, right?
Like, when was that? Look, it's got whiskers.
That's a smile. It's not whiskers.
What are these curly things?
Those are nostrils. Horses have massive nostrils, right?
Okay, maybe I'm looking at it too closely. Let me hold it. Let me hold it at a distance and see if it looks more like a horse from. You know that does not look like a horse.
Well, it's not.
It has nothing. There's not one single part of this small.
Okay, let's admit that it's not completely anatomically correct. Okay. I will admit that it's not completely anatomically correct, but it's definitely supposed to be a horse. Anyway, his name is Weenie Pig.
No, I got to go back. You say it's definitely supposed to be a horse.
Yeah. So
which part of it looks like a horse?
The hair.
Doesn't have any.
Hair. It even makes noises like a horse.
Look, just okay. I'll call it a horse. There you go. Okay, you satisfied? No, I'm pretty sure that it doesn't resemble.
Yes,
it's like It's like it's got the ears of a bat.
Or a cat, or a horse.
It's got
or a
the
donkey.
hair of a punk. It's got the tail.
It could be a donkey.
It's got the tail of a hedgehog.
You know, I would go for a donkey.
It's got the feet of a turtle.
Turtles don't have brown fuzzy feet. It's got the face of a cow, kind of. Isn't it? It could be a donkey cow.
Okay.
Or a mule, a donkey horse. Okay, Zora, catch!
Okay, right. Well, we've wasted it. We've wasted
Can you
a good
throw
amount of time on. You want me to throw the horse?
Yeah. You throw the horse. Yeah.
You see, it's a weenie pig. It's not
weenie
a horse.
pig.
She knows. Right, there we go.
Isn't that an American?
What?
American state or town or something?
Weenie pig.
Weenie pig.
California. Sorry. Bermuda, Jamaica. Ooh, I wanna take you to. No, it's
I'm
not.
gonna dance.
It's not in that song. Right. Yes, Weenie Pig is actually a state in the United States. It's where all of the weenie pigs come from.
I thought
apparently,
so.
originally. Right. The American states have got weird names. What was the thing that we learned from Trivial Pursuit the other day?
Which one?
Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is named after William Pitt, the British Prime Minister.
Did he have hairy pits? I'm doing the unintelligent jokes today.
Right. Well, I think we've got that. By the way, did you know? Right. Yeah. Did you know that New York was once New Amsterdam?
Yes. You're doing the Beatles accent. Again.
I'm doing the American version of the Beatles accent, which is not like the
right.
Beatles accent at all. Because one of them sounded
you're
like,
Scottish.
hey, come over here, George. Look what I've found. And that was the closest they could get to a Liverpool accent. The rest of them were like London accents, like down South London. Like there's a lot of people who talk very slowly. I don't know why. There's something in the air. Do you want to ride in my taxi?
I've never met anybody like that from South London.
That's because you haven't spent a lot of time in South London.
Spoken to people from South London. I've actually.
I lived there for 6 months.
I've been there. Brixton.
I lived in Brixton. There was a riot. There were a couple of riots.
Mm-hmm.
I saw people throwing like furniture out of windows from the second floor and things. It was really crazy.
I was in
hear the gunshots in.
I was in Croydon for a while. That's South London, no?
That's boring, though.
Yeah, I know.
Because nothing ever happens in Croydon.
No, nothing ever happened there.
Yeah.
Apart from the football match.
What football match?
There was a football match.
Once.
Yeah.
In London?
Yes, sir.
Oh, alright, because they got some good football teams down. I don't know what accent that was. I swallowed a crocodile accent.
That's okay.
There we go.
So what are we going to do today, Mr. Man? Can I call you Mr. Man?
Could you...
No, I can't.
You can't stop punching me.
No.
What? When's your next fighting training?
Because this is the only time when I can get away with it. It's tomorrow.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
So you're getting ready for that? Yeah, you can't wait, can you?
I need my punching bag.
Yeah. Yeah! Jazzy can't wait for her coins to get here. That's excellent. Are you alright?
I was looking at her.
She made a
Sorry. It's gonna happen.
Yeah. Well, to some people. You changed the lunch today. That was nice. What did you do? What
did I do with lunch?
Yes. Why did you do that? In a nice way.
Because I didn't have any time to cook anything normal.
Oh, okay.
So I did fruit bowls. Everybody ate fruit bowls, and I thought
fruit bowls. Because I heard you go around the flat going, fruit balls. I was like, well, what the hell is a fruit ball?
It's just my pronunciation.
I was like, that sounds kind of interesting. I thought you got lots of fruit and sort of scrunched it together in a ball or something.
I could do that for dinner if you want.
I think my stomach's going to do that with what I ate for lunch, so this is probably slightly unnecessary.
I would not want to have those fruit balls for dinner. Anyhow. So, yeah, I made bowls full of fruit. With some bananas and mangoes. Bowls.
Yeah, there's a w in it.
Bowls. How nice of you to let me come.
Oh my. Oh my, it is never normal anymore.
So yeah, mangoes and bananas and apples and pears. Weird combination.
It's like a random statement.
Yeah.
How are you feeling? Mangoes and bananas. Oh.
That's actually pretty great.
Excellent. Love it.
Yeah. If I tell you I'm feeling spinach, then you might want to be worried.
Be worried for the spinach.
Yeah, and we're gonna have. I thought that's gonna keep us going, even though I didn't eat mine.
Why didn't you eat yours? You're on a diet.
I forgot about it.
You forgot about your lunch.
Yeah. Well, I know it's on the table, but I thought I better have a shower. I was like, okay, I've got 15 minutes. Do I have a shower or do I eat my lunch? So
you could have had your lunch in the shower.
Theoretically, it probably would work with the fruit bowl. It would just wash the fruits, right?
Yeah, except it would be warm instead of fresh.
Yeah. I could have cold shower.
Prepared.
No, I don't think so. That's for summer.
That would wake you up.
And so I'm gonna eat it after we're finished. And we're gonna have the rest of what we didn't eat yesterday. Only I'm going to pretend it's not sauce and meatballs. I'm going to pretend it's actually soup. I'm just gonna.
Do you
just changing
have to use your imagination to eat food?
No. It's like so that you don't have to eat the same thing for 2 days in a row.
Heaven forbid.
You have soap. You have
soap. Lovely.
Sauce.
Lovely.
Sauce and meatballs with tomato sauce. One day, and then the next day you have tomato soup with some meatballs. Wow! What an incredibly varied menu. You must have worked in a restaurant. You did. Wow. Yeah, I did.
Oh, well,
See, I know how the marketing works. You just put a different name on it and bang, you've got a whole new meal. Today's special. Yesterday's leftovers. I do that in restaurants sometimes.
Yeah, they recycle stuff. I spent a little bit of time in a restaurant cafe when I was a student, and it was an upmarket place, and yet it was not uncommon to see unfinished food enter the kitchen through one door. And
leave it through another.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Ew.
I know, freaky. Because it was all about counting costs, right? It was all about counting costs. If they could use less produce and nobody knew the difference, they would do that. And it was peak lunchtime hours, and who the hell was going to know the difference?
No, probably nobody.
But I mean,
depending on what it is.
I did not agree with it, and I had no power to change it. And
it depends on what it is, I mean, if it's.
I remember it being sausages.
Oh.
I remember. Oh, bless you.
So they would just reheat it in the kitchen. Or
no, just move it from one plate to another.
Would they serve it cold in an upmarket place?
I've never thought about that before, to be honest. It never crossed my mind that one of the sausages might be colder than the others. Maybe they were spicy sausages and people couldn't tell the difference. I really never thought about that before. So, I don't know. Maybe they do reheat it. Maybe they throw it into the pan for a minute and then put it on the plate and out it goes.
Yeah, they did that. They did. When I was a kid, we used to go to what you call škola v prírode in Slovak, which is like a school in the nature.
Whatever that means.
That means that
you go to the country.
You go somewhere to the countryside, to a cottage, and you stay there for a week. You know, group of kids and teachers. And I remember one.
Why did we never do that when I went to school?
I don't know. We did it all the time.
It's like, we must keep the kids away from the forests. Forests are dangerous. We must not let the kids light fires. Fires are dangerous. We must not let the kids touch animals. Animals are dangerous. We must not let them out of the grounds. We must build big walls and fences, and we must know where they are all the time. Ah!
You know, if I was a teacher, I would probably go crazy doing something like that. I know that my mom always finds it extremely challenging to do that, you know, take kids somewhere, you know, put 30 kids on a train, not lose anybody, then get them off the train somewhere, not leave anybody on the train, not lose any of the backpacks or anything, you know, and you're talking like 6-7-year-old kids, right?
I heard about a school here that lost a teacher.
Where? How can you lose a teacher?
Apparently the teacher took the kids to Prague.
And didn't come back.
And the kids came back without the teacher.
And the poor teacher's probably still somewhere in Prague looking for his students.
Apparently he got drunk on the train and just got off somewhere. And all the kids had to get home by themselves.
Great. When I was young, it used to be the other way around. Anyway. So, yeah,
my school once had a school trip cancelled.
Yeah.
Because... where were they going? I don't know. It was like some kind of football trip to Germany to play football at some football camp. And they made all of the students open all of the luggage before they put it on the bus. Can you imagine? Well, in my opinion, that was a really stupid thing to do. Because you know before you start how it's going to end, right?
Because then the students had to spend all their pocket money to buy more alcohol when they go there.
Well, they didn't go.
They just didn't go.
The whole trip was cancelled due to the large volume of alcohol. It was
couldn't they have just leave the alcohol in school and keep it for later?
You see, that would be like, I would say, okay, remove all the alcohol, put it somewhere, and then continue with the trip. Yeah. Or know beforehand what's going to happen, and well, yeah, that would be the sensible thing. Like, remove it all and keep going, right? But they removed the alcohol and cancelled the whole trip. I don't know all the details of it. I just remember
they had to cancel it because all the teachers got lit.
Yeah, I wonder if they went through the teachers' bags as well.
Good point. Anyway, so we went to one place.
Has Jessie got a nappy on?
No.
Bad move.
I should put a nappy on her.
Bad move.
We went to this.
Bad move.
Okay, I'll put a nappy on her.
Bad
so we went to this place when I was a kid, right? And I remember the canteen was terrible. I can't remember almost anything, but I remember that the canteen was terrible. They would serve us like
prison food.
One day they gave us my favorite food, and I was so disappointed. It was the steamed buchty.
Cakes.
Steamed bread filled with jam. I don't know if you can...
what do you call the dumplings?
Yeah, like dumplings. Yeah. Steamed dumplings filled with jam. You know, and you put cocoa butter on top and sugar, and it's really sweet and really unhealthy, and I loved it as a kid. And they made these for us, and they were all raw in the middle. Right, they weren't done. You'd like cut one in half.
Did they not check it before they give it to the kids?
Well, they obviously didn't. So we were all like, right, like such nice food.
Well, it's school, isn't it? They can destroy everything.
Yeah, and then next day we had like we saw the ladies in the canteen do what you just said. You know, somebody would leave potatoes, just scrape it on another plate, and you know slap on some meat.
They care, right? And
go ahead and eat it. And we saw that, and I remember as
people
kids,
get away with doing
I don't know, but as kids we decided we were going to sabotage it.
Is this going to be a long story? Because the nappy thing is a bit of an issue here that we need to solve.
I'm finishing, okay. Okay, darling, we'll sit on the potty.
Turn the potty around, darling, so that you can see what's happening.
That's it.
And
Perfect.
And can you
pants off.
Take your pants down and sit in the potty? They're knickers, sorry. Okay, good job, Zora, helping her. That's very kind of you.
Nice.
Wow. Would you look at that?
Yeah. And we sabotaged it. So every time we
you know what? I could see that.
She was shuffling, wasn't she?
Yeah, that's why I'm saying you need to go, you need to go, and you're like, no, I don't. You need to go, you need to go, you need to go, and you're like, no, I'm just finishing my story, which will last another half an hour.
Yes, no, and then we sabotaged it, and then every time we brought in food as kids, we would just make it so that they can't reuse it for another one's plate. It was horrible it was
crazy
hard
when the kids have to protect themselves from the adults.
Yeah, I know. I mean, that was that was a childish reaction to the problem, obviously, but that's what we were. We were kids, and we didn't want to eat food after one another.
I remember the school canteen having nothing healthy at all. Nothing was ever healthy. And then, they'd have these token gestures like a bowl of fruit. For the whole school canteen, right? For the whole school, there would be one bowl of fruit, and that would be.
We didn't even have. Well, we would sometimes get like a tangerine or an apple to go with the lunch, but mostly we would get either not condensed fruit. What do you call it? The like a preserved fruit, with sugar.
Yes.
And our canteen was very good.
Can you say conserved? Conserved food? I think we can say that. Tinned.
Yeah.
Tinned food.
Something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know. I have to go shut up Beethoven.
Yes, well.
Oh no!
What have you done now? You spoon, you've tied it to yourself. Oh, God. Oh, dear. Women and cables. Only men could have come up with cables. Women would have thought of something far more sensible. Like right. Well, maybe. So, we haven't done an introduction, so that's great. We're like 25 minutes into the podcast, and I forgot to do an introduction because I always forget to do an introduction. Welcome to Practical Parenting, the podcast where we look at being positive as a parent, being peaceful as a parent, being proactive as a parent, and sharing as much information as we can to help everyone in their parenting journey. Is there anything else on your radar at the moment? Welcome back to the podcast.
Hello.
Welcome to Practical Parenting, the German edition. We are here today to discuss what the mother and the father should be doing whilst the kids are doing something else. So, there we are. And today on the show, I am pleased to...
Zora's got him. Daddy threw Winnie Pig to Zora. Zora, where's Winnie Pig, please?
Could you give Winnie Pig to your sister, please?
Thank you.
Yeah.
I forgot to close the gate.
Close the gate.
Close the gate.
We have a stool that acts as a gate, which prevents the kids from eating us.
Yeah, it's an actor.
It's a good actor. It acts very well.
Yeah, you would totally believe that it's a gate.
Right. I've just offended the entire country of Germany, but that's okay.
Yes.
That's okay. I was listening to Jordan Peterson yesterday.
Who's that?
There we go.
Excuse me?
You don't know who Jordan Peterson is?
No.
You don't know who Jordan Peterson is?
No! I don't.
He's an American
person.
Oh, he's Canadian actually. I think he's a Canadian university professor.
Okay.
Who has come to the attention of basically the entire planet over the last 2 years because he's a Christian conservative, and of course that's bad, right? That's like that's like, oh my God, no, you have to be all open to everything. And he's like, well, no, we need fundamental Christian values in society because if we don't have them, the world falls apart. And
if everybody just mind their own effing business.
Exactly.
Which is
get off
why we
get
give
off
you
my
all the
lawn,
information, yeah.
right? Get off my lawn, and don't tell me what you think because I don't really care. So, what was the point? Yeah, he was making a great point about the nature of good and evil, and it's not related to parenting that much, except he was talking about relationships, which was interesting, that the mother and father in the relationship, and he said that, the modern values for a relationship are completely wrong. He goes to the extreme of saying that love is probably the worst reason to get married because no one really understands what it is anyway. So
have you seen the video that I tagged you in? There's 3
tag.
The 3.
Can you tag people in videos? Tag was a game when I was at school. Tag, you're it. Tag.
Shut up.
You're it again. Tag.
You know which one I mean.
What?
Look at that.
What?
Where's my hair?
You going grey?
No.
Are you going grey?
I'm losing my hair.
What do you mean? Where's your hair? It's on your head.
See this bald patch here?
On your head. The bald patch.
Yeah, just above my ear.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, on both sides as well.
I'm getting bald.
Your hair is receding.
As far as yours is.
Just because I shaved my head. So what?
What was I going to say? The video.
My mother went on about that the last time I spoke to her. She's, oh my God, look at your hair, it's receding. It's like, well, it's going to be like that for about 10 years, Mom.
Well, you couldn't see it because there was a huge blanket of dog hair.
Yeah, well, look
covering it.
At least they don't pour chemicals on it and dye it like she does. Anyway.
Have you seen the video? That 3
legged man.
three types of love. The love explained by Greeks.
When did you tag me in?
Jesus, a week ago? I don't know. Maybe even longer. It was a very nice
yesterday.
Informative video about 3 words that Greeks used for the English word love.
Oh, okay, yeah, they've got the pathos and something. Is that
eros? They had eros. They had philia, and they had agape.
I just made an idiot of myself. Okay.
Yeah, eros was the love.
That was the one with the arrow, wasn't that the small?
Yeah. That was the love, like when 2 people fall in love and they can't be without each other.
Romeo
and they
and
have
Juliet.
to make love all the time and kiss all the time. They just can't get their hands off of each other, right? And then they were talking about philia, which is
clingy love.
Yeah, which is when you...
Excuse me?
The philia, which is more like friendship. And that's, they were explaining that...
Is that with the...
Most...
Okay, sorry. Please continue. I apologize.
Yes, that's where the words like pedophilia come from.
That's why I was wondering if there was a connection there.
Yes, it comes from the same word. But
good afternoon. Good afternoon, Rado. If you're online, give us a thumbs up, give us a heart, can you make one of those heart signs? I can't do that. I always get confused. Oh, you were trying to make it drift across the picture. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So philia was the friendship, right? And that they were saying that the relationship between partners later on in the relationship, like in the marriage, is more like philia, not like eros, right? So it's more like friendship. It doesn't have to be.
Are they talking about the growth of love? Did they say like it starts as one type of love?
They didn't really call it the growth of love. They just said that there are these types of love. And they also pointed out that because of the media presenting only one type of love, like the eros, right, in relationships, people are often unhappy in marriage because they think that they're expected to always feel, or they expect to always feel like they do at the beginning. They expect to always feel eros, but that's just not natural.
But the hormones,
right?
The hormonal urge drops after 6 months, right?
So they basically explained that love later on transforms, hopefully, into the philia type of love. And then they were talking about the 3rd type of love, which was agape, which was
I've never heard that word
like
before.
a charitable love. the love that you feel to all human beings?
It's just, there's a couple I can think of that are not going to get that from me, but
yes,
okay.
but it's the kind of feeling that you have, you know, like the kind of empathy that you have with a poor stranger who needs help, or you know, the kind of, oh, I see this old 80 years old lady has fallen down and broke her leg, so I'm going to pick her up in my arms and carry her to the nearest hospital because I'm feeling agape.
You're feeling agape in the services.
Yeah, I know what.
She's feeling agape in the services because the ambulance it did not come.
It's Italian now. It's great. It's crazy. It's like being married to a lot of men.
It's like I am many in one. No,
yes,
it is
yes.
like a good thing. No, it's
I have
island
German.
living.
I have Italian. I have Scottish.
She is so aggressive. I don't know what
I
to
have
do with her.
Spanish.
What is it with these European women?
Everything.
What is it with you? What is going on in the background over there?
No, Winnipeg is getting a good brush.
It's being operated on as far as I can see.
My toothbrush, by the way.
Your toothbrush.
My teeth are gonna be hairy today.
I would.
Sounds like a chainsaw. It sounds like a miniature chainsaw.
It does. You shouldn't put that in your mouth. Right.
God.
You're going to have to clean it.
I'm going to have really big guts on my toothbrush.
Thoroughly.
Yeah.
Right. I just derailed the whole conversation. You're making a very intellectual point about the different kinds of love.
Yeah. Anyway, it was all in the video. It was a very good video. It was a very nice video. You know, it was like, why are people so unhappy in relationships these days and so depressed and everything? Because they expect something that the media serves them that, you know, they should expect, but it's just completely derailed. And they always feel like, oh, there's something missing, there's something wrong with me. Well, actually, it's not. It's completely normal. That's the way it should be.
Yeah.
But maybe I'm not convinced. Check the video. It's on my Facebook. I'm going to repost it.
3 times?
Yeah.
Okay, that should work. He just keeps reposting things on his wall. Okay. Facebook is a strange place. That is for sure. There was another point I wanted to make about Mr. Peterson, but it obviously has the nature of good and evil. Yeah. Anyway, if you go to my webpage, if you go to the Academy of Language Therapy and Life Coaching on YouTube, it's the top watched video, Jordan Peterson on romantic relationships.
Oh, is that one? Okay.
It's that one. He talks about. He goes deep where others fear to tread, where everyone else is like, oh, I don't want to offend anybody. He's like, no, the whole point of conversation
is to offend everyone.
Is to push boundaries.
Okay.
Psychologically, to see if you can. He said, because you can't understand what good is until you are able to intellectually understand what evil is. So the whole point of all conversation is to push people to their to the limits in terms of their imagination and their conversational abilities. That's going to be the cleanest pig on the planet over there, right?
It's the dirtiest toothbrush in Slovakia.
It is. Right. We were talking the other day about what we described as conditional parenting. Does that ring a bell?
Yeah, it does.
Because you didn't like the other.
I still don't like the sound of it.
You still don't like it. Oh my God. Well,
because conditional parenting sounds too much like conditional love, and you know I don't like.
Let's call it joyful parenting then. But it's not about joy. So I mean, what do you want to call it?
We said that the documentary was called Extremely Bad Parenting that we talked about last time, and it wasn't. It was actually called Extremely Bad Behavior. I just remembered.
Oh, we got one. We got 2 out of 3.
But the extremely bad behavior was caused by extremely bad parenting. So
you know what I really. You know what I liked about that was that they had this cover post on YouTube.
Yeah.
Which was the kid and the parents dressed up as like devils, no?
Oh yeah.
Like, how did they get the parents to do that?
Yeah, and the child was an angel.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah, that must have been a bit.
I don't know. Maybe they did.
insane.
Maybe they just added that in Photoshop or something.
Right. I think we covered the first 3 points last time. Right.
Did you see my bicep?
What? That
It's a
is-
bicep.
is it? See, not just
It's not inflatable.
something hanging there. It's almost as big as mine.
No, it's not.
It's probably bigger than mine.
Your one is big.
Oh,
What's up,
that
darling?
hurt.
Oh, you cleaned the bullet. Well done.
Oh, Jesse's cleaning things. Excellent. Wow, that's what we need. People to clean things. If only
Yes,
the other
please.
two older children would
Need to
do
get a bit
that
closer
just
to
as
you.
well. What will do? You're gonna ram your crotch into the corner of the table
No,
here
I'm
if you're
not.
careful.
It's all calculated perfectly. I'm ramming my crotch into anything or other way around.
Wait, and in 5 minutes when you forget that you're standing on one leg and you've got the other one on the table and one of the kids runs over and asks for
I know I'm
something very
forgetful,
quickly.
but I'm not that forgetful. I'm not going to forget that I'm standing on one leg, hopefully.
You've done it before.
Have I?
Live.
Did I try to walk with that one leg I was standing on? And
You
fall
just
on my
fell
ass?
over. You just fell over. You just-
I forgot about that.
Isn't
It's
that
not really
amazing?
funny.
Isn't that amazing? What did you forget about?
What's up, darling? This is a lack of
I like
sleep
the
due
way-
to you people. Take care of yourself. Sleep more than I do.
What? Sleep?
Mm-hmm.
Sleep? You saying you didn't get enough sleep last night? Are you saying the baby wasn't shuggling around? What?
I actually got more sleep than usual last night because I went to bed first and I've left you, poor man, to put everybody to bed. Which you failed to do. And then I had to get up.
I'm sort of the passive authoritarian, right? I'm like, guys, I'm going to bed. Go to bed. And
then the kids come to me and say, Mommy, and they wake me up and come tuck me in. Mommy, I'm hungry.
I don't see the point in forcing kids to go to bed.
So I lie down next to my bed on the floor, naked.
Well, I thought she'd gone to bed. And I went to bed, and then I was like, I thought you were talking to yourself, right?
You're supposed to go and kiss them goodnight to make sure that they're all in bed and tucked in and happy and don't need water and don't need to pee.
I don't know why I didn't do that with Zora last night. I mean, I did it with Will. I mean, I thought she was in bed asleep already, and I didn't want to go and kiss her and wake her up.
Maybe.
Maybe.
You don't know what you were thinking.
At that point in time, I was like, they're quiet.
I'm sleeping.
They're quiet. It's time. It's my time.
Well, yeah, Zora came to poke me and she told me to go and tuck her in.
Somebody go poke mommy. Okay.
Yeah. So I had to get up and go and tuck her in, give her a drink of water.
Right. Anyway, so let's okay, we can't call it conditional parenting. Well, you think of a name for it, okay, and come up with a name because you don't like any.
We
of
were
the
talking
names.
about the emotional
We're going to
reactions
move
of
on-
children
Mhm.
to certain type of parenting or to certain type of behavior.
Well, it's basically saying that
Parents.
the children's reaction is not due to the child's experience. It's due to the parental framing and the environment that the child experiences.
Yes, they give you a clue. The graphic actually gives you a clue to decipher what the bad behavior that my child is
You're giving away
doing.
you're giving away all our secrets here. You're not supposed to do that. You're not supposed to give away our secrets.
Of course I am. You're going
No,
to post
you're-
the link anyhow.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
No, I'm not. I don't post links now unless people ask for them.
When did that change? And why
Because
didn't you tell me about it?
you didn't ask. Okay, that's not a reason. Okay, I could have told you at any point in time that I don't post the links, because I'm tired of posting things and not getting responses.
Oh.
So if anybody wants something, they have to ask for it. Ask Ask and you shall receive. I think we read that somewhere before.
Yeah, we should credit the information though when we have information from a different source.
I have no problem with crediting the information, right? I'm very happy to say that this information comes from CureJoy, and people can find more information about that online. However, some things shouldn't be shared, right? Some things shouldn't be shared. Share everything.
Yes.
Put everything out there.
Yes. People need everything and more of it. No?
More? You're like some mad king. Bring me everything and more.
Yes.
Now.
Yes.
Immediately.
Anyway, we were talking about you were saying. Well, let's find a better name for it.
Let's get on with it. Okay.
Yeah.
Can I, me or you?
You.
I'm doing the thing. Right. If your child. So this is about children's behavior. Yeah. If your child is not standing up for themselves, one of the reasons might be that from a young age they have experienced being disciplined by the parent in a public setting, and so the child knows if they stand up, there will be a scene, and as a result, they have consciously trained themselves not to stand up, because that's them standing up only escalates a problem which already exists. It doesn't provide any solution at the time. So
that's like talking about me, right?
Is it? Tell me more.
Well, I seldom used to stand up for myself.
Why do you think that was?
I think because it would be considered talking back in my family.
Oh, there is that, isn't there? Don't talk back. Don't. What does that even mean? Don't
basically
talk back when people
punished
say that.
as talking back, right? But in Slovak it's papuľovať. I mean, it's not. It's got a completely different sound to it than in English, because to talk back in English just sounds neutral to me.
No, talk back is negative.
Because I know, I understand that the primary meaning of talking back is negative. But if you take it apart, to talk back, it's basically just a conversation. I'm talking to you and you're talking back to me, right? If you take it apart, semantically.
Yeah, I agree.
Right?
I agree with that. That's a good way to look
Whereas
at it.
papuľovať in Slovak comes from papula, which is a derogatory term for a mouth, right? So it's like, don't give me your bad mouth, basically.
Don't badmouth me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is completely twisted, because you're just trying to stand up for yourself, right? You're just trying to explain, perhaps, why you did something wrong.
If the adult says, don't talk back to me, and then they always add, like that, as if, as if that's an argument. It's not really any kind of relevant or pertinent point. But so you can say, well, I have to.
It would often be a one-sided conversation in my childhood, where the adult would say, and I'm not just talking about my parents, it's a general thing with adults, it's teachers, any kind of adult which is an authority to a child, right?
Yes, it's very authoritarian.
Anywhere, even if you just met a random parent on the playground, right? They would have the same kind of attitude towards children, usually. So it would be a one-sided conversation. It would be like, I am angry and I'm telling you my opinion from the position of the parent, and if you try to kind of defend yourself, they just tell you to shut up and don't talk back. So, and if you still try to talk back, you'd probably be punished for it. So you don't stand up for yourself, because you know that you'll, just like you said, create a scene. You'll make things worse.
Yeah, well, it's a communication breakdown again, isn't it? So you can't have any kind of conversation in that kind of situation. And the child's not allowed to express their feelings, which means the child represses their feelings, which means they all build up, and which means there's an explosion at some point.
Yes, there's just this passive anger building up. And, yeah. Not good, people. Don't do that. Let your kids talk. If they need to swear, let them swear.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but there's a place, right? That's a song, isn't it? There's a place for us.
It's from the
West Side Story.
West Side Story that you played for me so wonderfully and nicely the other day when I needed to stay in bed in the morning.
I think. Don't we all need to stay in bed in the morning? I was wondering if Queen stole the lyrics for Who Wants to Live Forever from that, because that begins, there's no time for us, there's no place for us. I was wondering, and it's very similar to the West Side Story line. I was wondering if they used that as some kind of inspiration.
And you don't mean the Queen of England?
No, I mean the great rock group that came from England. Except the singer.
With the teeth.
Yes, Teeth, Mr. Teeth. Yeah.
Moustache and teeth.
Yes.
Great combo.
Yeah, except he wasn't English, was he? He was from some crazy. Actually, he was from Zanzibar or something.
Really?
Yeah.
He looked like from Romania. He looked a bit like Nosferatu with those.
Well, he had that sort of kind of gypsy look about him, didn't he?
Well, yes, and then his black hair and black mustache and the Nosferatu teeth. The original Nosferatu who had the front teeth like that, not the, you know. He did.
Do you remember that English rock band with that singer that looked like Nosferatu? Oh, Queen. Oh, yeah.
He did, though.
Yeah, the guitarist with the hair. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Right.
You did a thing on him.
A thing. I did. You did a thing. I did my thing.
You did a impression of Eddie Mercury, didn't you?
Oh wow, way back. Yeah, I apparently because we never know where it ends, right? Apparently, I started a tradition in my school.
No, really.
Yeah, apparently, I was the first person ever to in our school to go up on stage and do an impersonation of somebody musically. Why did you just?
I'm sign languaging to Will.
Oh, Will's doing his distraction thing again.
Close the computer, Will.
Will, close the door as well, please, because you're doing your distraction thing again. Yes, you can do whatever you want to do as long as you close the door. That includes licking between your toes. Yes, anything. Close the door first. Oh dear. My God.
Sorry.
You're right there.
Kick the table.
Yeah. Well, apparently, everyone was. I'm never going to get to tell the world how fantastic.
I hear it.
There's a plane. Sounds like thunder. That's what he usually says, isn't it? Yeah.
Through the kitchen window.
Wow.
Well done.
She's excited now. She saw a plane. But it was a close one. Absolutely. You never know with these planes. You never know. Right. Those great thunderbirds in the sky.
I love the way she says that. It was a close one.
Yeah. So, yeah, the things you end up doing when you're at school are absolutely ridiculous. I remember standing at the edge of the stage before going onto stage, having to do this miming performance to a Queen song with my. Will, I thought we agreed that you were going to stay in your room. Why are you climbing the door?
I'm going to get my tablet.
Yes? Do you need to climb the door to get your tablet?
I have to climb up here.
Well, why don't you get a chair? It's probably not charged because everybody except for me forgets to put the tablets on charge. Oh my gosh. As soon as the tablet appears, then the very next word is me. So, the things you find yourself doing at school just because of the things that happen just because of random conversations are quite incredible. You'll do something for the talent show? Yeah, sure, why not? I'll do an impression of Freddie Mercury. Yeah, and next thing you know, it's on the poster, so you have to do it. And and I remember standing at the side of the stage. There's a video of this somewhere. There was a period of time when things did not appear online instantly. This has never appeared online ever, thankfully. It was one of those challenges. So, what did I want to say about that? Didn't really want to talk about that. Just that it started a tradition that the first musical performance was my performance, which was average, nothing special. And then everybody had to try to be better every year after that, and so everybody did something, and that's nice. You want things to be like that, basically.
Do you?
So, I'm just filibustering about things I don't want to talk about. I don't want to talk about the school talent show. Right.
So, what would you like to talk about?
I want to talk about parenting, of course. That's why we're here.
Well, give us another point.
Okay.
About what we.
Okay.
Should
So,
recognize.
things to look out for. And I've covered this before. This bugs me because I've been there. This is that if you buy everything for your children and they still have this habit of wanting more or even taking things that don't belong to them, then it can often come down to the fact that they don't have a lot of choice, or they feel that they don't have a lot of choice in their lives. Well, what bugs me is, and I've said this before 1,000 times, and I'll say it again, that toys replace meaningful conversations. Toys replace meaningful communication. The time spent with a lot of toys is time not spent with connection for a lot of families. And I have observed that those children who have more things that they don't need or don't use often don't have the one thing that they need the most, which is the focus, attention, care, love, even the ear of their parents. I don't mean physically ear, but I mean that their parents listening to their needs.
Yeah, often that is what happens. But then I wouldn't obviously go to extremes because some toys are really cool. In fact, yesterday we were...
Toys are cool.
Yeah. Yesterday we were visiting our friends.
Depends how you define toy, doesn't it?
And they had this like a puzzle toy thing. You know, it had
no idea what you're talking about.
Bits that were almost like Tetris pieces, and you had to kind of stack them together to fit a certain shape. And you had different. You had a little book that came with it, and it had different types of things that you can do with, challenges for you to complete with the puzzle game, and it's really cool. And we'll just spend like an hour just playing with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
he's got a mathematical kind of.
Yeah, we should
kind of
get him something like that.
Oh, I thought the Rubik's
Christmas.
Cube was. I thought he was gonna like solve the Rubik's Cube. What happened with that?
I think it's too difficult for him. Just now, it doesn't.
Why is it too difficult?
Did you try to solve the Rubik's Cube?
I have never tried to solve a Rubik's Cube, but I have listened to and the reason why I've never tried to solve it is because I've had to sit so many times in my life and listen to people explain to me, how to do it. Oh, do you know how to solve a Rubik's Cube? No. Oh, well, this is how you do it. And they go blah, 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 blah. And at the end they always go, it's really easy. And my brain shuts down and I never do it because...
Well, that's what happened to Will. I mean, he looked up some videos of how to do it. and he wasn't able to follow all the instructions because it's complex. It's not as easy as you think. I mean, you try to do it, and then maybe when you try to do it, you will understand why he didn't do it.
Yeah, I think I made a mistake there. I should have done it myself first, and he should have seen me doing it, and then he would have been interested in it. That was a mistake.
If he saw you succeed, he would feel challenged.
But I'll tell you what I did do. It was when your mother was here, and I left your mother with the instructions with him, and I was thinking, he'll see your mother do it, and he'll copy that. But the problem was, your mother didn't do it.
She didn't finish it,
she didn't finish
and
it.
he was bored to death just watching her. He left like halfway through.
Yeah, well, that was, I gave your mother the opportunity to do that with Will, and the result was whatever it was.
She did do that with Will, but he just wasn't interested in the activity. It just,
Well, after a period of time, naturally.
Yeah.
I mean, she overdid it. I don't know how to describe it.
How can you overdo it? I mean, it's...
You spend too long doing something which is of no interest and not getting anywhere.
Yes,
when there's no progress.
But that's my point. I mean, you try to do it. You think it takes about 15 minutes to do it. Try to do it in 15. If you do it in 15 minutes, I'm gonna be like, and I'm going to hand you a medal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chocolate one, I imagine.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Probably, or a cucumber one.
If I actually do it in 15 minutes, well, let's not even go there because it's not going to happen.
Exactly.
Right. I'll tell you, the other problem is that the little things fell off.
Are coming off? Yeah, it's all kind of broken. It's usual.
I had this Rubik's cube when I was a kid, which was the shape.
Probably the same one. No.
No, it was the shape of a barrel. It was a barrel cube, yeah. And no, it doesn't exist, does it? I just made up something. A barrel cube. Well, you know how Rubik's cubes are usually cubes. Well, this was a barrel, right? Okay. And I was like, oh wow! And after 30 seconds, it was not in the shape of a barrel anymore. I could never put it back in the shape of a barrel. It was just really weird. Anyway, maybe somebody out there had a barrel cube, or whatever they called it. I don't know. There you go.
Barrel cube.
I'm
going to Google that one. I'm going to get you one for Christmas.
Just when I thought my childhood had ended.
The barrel cube's going to haunt you forever.
Okay, all came flooding black. Black is back. Right, there we go. So,
sorry, it's funny.
If your child displays the behavior of a
monkey,
a monkey, no, if he displays cowardly behavior, if he's not perhaps as brave as he should be, perhaps one of the reasons is that parents offer help too quickly and have removed all the obstacles that a child must be challenged to go through or face in order to grow, in order to think, in order to progress. We all want to help our kids, but sometimes the best way to help our kids is a hands-off approach. So
I have two things I'd like to say about that.
I'm all ears.
First thing is that yes, that naturally, that kind of behavior from a parent, where you want to do everything for your kid, or you see that they have a difficulty and you run in and you take it from them and you want to do it for them, lowers their self-confidence because they feel like they can't do it themselves, because you don't let them see if they can or cannot. Therefore, they will shy away from challenges, or they will expect you to run in and do it for them, because they don't. Because you taught them. You basically taught them up to this point that you can do it yourself. You're telling your kid, you can't do this yourself. You need help. And they learn that. And they keep on applying it to everything.
Yeah, I think that you've let the kids do a lot of things that I thought maybe was questionable, and it's been hard for me at times to let that go, but it's been very good for the kids.
Yeah, well, for example, what? I'm quite surprised.
I don't know, like from a young age, giving the kids scissors and letting them walk around with scissors
Okay.
and cut things, right? That would be one example.
Mhm.
Yeah, where I would be like, I would be, he's distracting me again over there. Will, you know the rules. While we're on the podcast, you did it last time, you did it on Monday, you're doing it now.
What, nothing?
You know the rules. You can't distract us when we're on the podcast. Is it an emergency? Is something on fire? No. Mum is on the podcast as well. We're both doing a podcast. We're doing a podcast live on the internet. Please don't make faces at me.
Is it extremely emergent?
Emergent. Okay. Well, is it possible that you could think of something else to do for 15 minutes, and then we'll be very happy to help you with whatever you want? Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. As long as he doesn't get his gun and start shooting me again.
So, yeah, we were talking about me letting kids run around with scissors. It's going to result in a visit from social services, probably, after this video.
No, there's that, and letting them do some things outside. Where are we on Will going to the shop? Where are we on that project?
Yeah, I didn't progress. I didn't progress, and I have to progress on that.
And why didn't you progress on that?
I don't know, actually. We went through 2 steps.
Excuses. I can't wait for this.
I don't know. I don't have an excuse. We went through two steps of removal of the parent. And from the process of shopping. And
remove the parent.
He should basically go and do that now. He should be able to go and do that now.
I know, that's why I asked.
Yeah. So we can just send him out to do some shopping today.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll be down with OPP.
Yeah, okay.
Right. There we go.
Yeah. Anyway.
The obstacle in the path there.
And there was something else I wanted to say. Second thing. Oh yeah, children are geniuses. The smaller the child, the bigger genius they are, because they're not yet, whacked over the head with our own complexes. Do you have that word in English? Complex is a psychological difficulty.
We do now.
Yeah. They're not yet whacked over the head with our own struggles and fears and things. And I'm whacking myself over the head.
But by whacking yourself over the shoulders.
It's this special kind of whacker that comes back from behind and whacks me over the head.
A whacker.
So, yeah, you can't see it because it's invisible.
That'll be why you can't see it then.
But it's there.
Honestly, it is.
So what I wanted to say is, if you watch little kids, toddlers, right? As soon as the development, when they first get the sense of self, and then they start getting the sense of their own power, right, around the age 1.5. And that's what all the parents fear as the terrible twos, even though they start around the age of 1.5. I don't know why they're called terrible twos. Anyway, so the child gets the sense of themselves and their own capabilities and their own power to change the reality around them, and that's amazing. And they want to try how much power they have to change the reality around them. And
like rolling a pumpkin across the floor.
Yeah, for example. and one of the things that they work on around that age, around the age of maybe 2 years old, maybe a little bit later, is they want to see how much they can do. And they want to do things themselves. Have you noticed? Like Zora used to have...
Pour juice all over the floor?
Yeah, for example. Myself. If I make muesli for my daughter called Zora, she's older than 2, she's almost 5, she's gonna throw the fit of the fits. she's gonna be like
That would be
over through the roof and over the moon and back and just whacking me over the head with my invisible whacker because she wants to do it herself. And she's perfectly capable of doing it herself. She makes a massive mess everywhere, right? But it is so important for her to do it herself. And I think they understand better than we understand how important it is for they don't understand it consciously, but subconsciously, how important it is for them and for their development to do these things themselves, right?
And you're saying they do understand.
I'm saying that they understand it on a subconscious level, that it is extremely important for them to do things by themselves, not only to acquire the skill, but also to acquire the self-confidence and to be able to continue, to progress in life, and to have the courage to face challenges. And that's why they very often react so violently when we try to do something for them. Like I said, like a 2.5-year-old Zora, me zipping up her jacket and her throwing herself on the ground and kicking and screaming because I zipped up her jacket.
Yeah, she
wanted to do it herself.
Yeah, they.
So I think that some of the, in fact, a lot of the patties that my kids threw were preventable if I just kept my hands off. Sometimes they get extremely frustrated when they find out that they actually can't do it themselves. Okay, so sometimes the patty is unavoidable. I call it a patty. I hope Irish people don't mind. And
it's a Scottish term for when a child has an uncontrollable emotional outburst.
Anger attack, yeah. But some of them were preventable if I just let go and say, okay, do it yourself.
Yeah, hands off.
Yeah, because they know it's important. It's like a little engine driving them to do more and more and more and more.
Get off my lawn.
Get off my jacket and my muesli bowl and stuff.
Yeah.
Bowl.
I do it myself. Yeah.
And it's crazy because you're a mother and you're used to do these things quickly and automatically, and you have to constantly remind yourself to ask them if they want to do it themselves.
It's a time factor thing because you're like, I can do it myself in 2 seconds and everything will be fine and there'll not be a mess, or I can leave it to the kids where it'll take 15 minutes and
then another 15 for me to clean up.
Exactly. So you can see why the parents want to. You can see what the parents want to avoid, but it's not always.
Sometimes it's not that I want to avoid it. Sometimes I just automatically do something because I'm so used to doing it, and I don't ask before I do it. Sometimes I just automatically go, bowl, muesli, milk. I'm half asleep still, right? And I didn't ask Zora, would you like to do it yourself? Because sometimes she doesn't, sometimes she doesn't.
Yeah,
right?
You get those stories
to communicate with people.
You get those stories of children who are neglected, which is horrible. But then they say things like, I had to go shopping for myself at the age of 12 because we didn't have any food at home, right? And being neglected is terrible.
But those kids are able to do so many things.
But those kids are then have all these choices to make. Okay, there's no food. Okay, so we need to buy food. If I need to buy food, then I need to buy money. If I need to buy money, then I got to go to the shop and I got to travel there, and they have to process all of these complex ideas and problems. And so it very often happens that the children that are neglected develop a lot of skills very quickly because they're survival skills because they're
much more able to do things. Well, my mom told me a heartbreaking story when she worked at a kindergarten and she had a kid who had a coat with no buttons on it, right? And she would tell the kid, well, tell your mom to put some buttons on your coat so that you're not cold when you go home, right? When you so that you can do it up. And she said the kid would come next day with one big button in the middle of the jacket. He did it up with.
He did it himself.
And they did it himself, and that would be like a 4-year-old, right? So these are things that you can't imagine your child do it.
Oh, it's when kids you talk to people about their childhood and they're like, "Ah, yeah, my mother wasn't around because she was out drinking all the time." Ah, ha, 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 ha. And they laugh about it, and you think,
because they have
what?
to.
What? Yeah, because it's the alternative is
to cry about it.
Yeah, but they probably need to cry more than they need to laugh, right? Because they haven't. I mean,
at the same time,
laughter at serious problems like that is unprocessed emotional content.
Yes, I also think that people want to make it easier for the other people. If you know what if you've ever been in that situation, like you've got a difficult situation going on, say somebody died or something, right? And you don't want to tell it to people because you don't want to make them uncomfortable, because you know that when you tell someone something like that, they're probably gonna feel like, oh my gosh, what am I going to tell this person? Or it can make them feel a bit weird. So
yeah, that's sacrificing yourself, though.
Yeah, I do.
I mean, that's not being honest with yourself about what has happened to you and what you're still not ready to discuss. You're sort of whitewashing history in that sense. If you're bringing the topic up, you should at least be able to understand the horror.
Yeah, I wouldn't even bring the topic up probably. So if I didn't want to discuss it seriously with someone, I probably wouldn't try to discuss it at all. I don't know.
I'll tell you what worries me. It worries me when the kids are not making any noise.
They're playing with the technology.
Yeah, it still worries me when one of them is not screaming or shouting the name of another one, or in desperate need of help, or has some physical problem, or
yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, it's when they're quiet.
Yeah,
that you should be worried.
Yeah, exactly. I'm so used to noise that when they don't make any, I begin to worry about it. Shall we do one more before that ultimately chaos will erupt? But we'll try to squeeze in one more. Children who express a lot of jealousy have obvious issues with what's happening around about them. One of those issues might be because that there's too much comparison in their environment. They are being either they are being compared to other children, or they themselves are analyzing their environment with too much comparison and saying they have something that I don't have. Their value system is wrong as well.
Yeah, it's a consequent thing. I mean, those are not two separate things that you just said, right? It's first they're being compared by somebody else, and then they learn to compare themselves to other people, right? Because it doesn't necessarily come from the. I think it comes from the feeling of external judgment, right? Other people are going to judge me, and the fear of not being good enough, or the feeling of not being good enough. If you compare your kids to other kids, which is mostly done in the oh, look how Johnny eats nicely and you're making a big mess kind of way, like they're better and you're not.
Yeah,
why can't you be more like someone else?
You bad him or her good, right? That's the message.
That sends the child the message that they are less worthy, or.
Well, isn't school just all the time?
Yes,
it's
school
like,
is all
look,
comparison.
Anne does her homework, or Mary gets good marks, or Peter's never late, or.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's just all that all the time.
The whole grade system is that. First of all, it's a focus on the result rather than the process.
The process or the progress, right?
Or the progress, yes.
Because there's so little. there was a tiny little bit of a focus on that when I was in school, because there was there were like trophies for everyone who was good at everything, and then the last trophy, which nobody wanted, was the best improved student or something like that.
You had trophies? I didn't have trophies.
Yeah, there was a trophy for like most improved student of the year each in the different years in school. And
that's a good effort.
my name is on one of the my name is on one of the trophies.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, the best improved.
But should be. Except I never improved. so that didn't work out.
Was that when you started the new tradition?
No, I got the sportsmanship award.
Oh.
For being a sportsman.
Oh.
There we go. Do you know what that means?
No.
It means you come last all the time. And they feel sorry for you.
Right.
So they give you the sportsmanship award.
Lovely.
So I entered all of the events in the...
it's like the Tena Ujehi, which is the Cheer Up Award. It's just supposed to cheer you up.
The Cheer Up? What the hell's a Cheer Up Award?
In Slovak, you have a Cheer Up Award. Like, if you're not the first or the second or the third, but you're below then, you sometimes get a Cheer Up Award.
A Cheer Up Award?
To give you something so that you don't feel too bad about losing.
That's like saying bad luck, mate.
Yeah, I know.
Bad luck, mate. Here's a trophy.
I know.
Console yourself.
Remote is here, darling.
Remote is here. Would you like me to put on something for you with the remote? Would you like me to put on something for you?
That is moving around. It means something on.
Oh, it means
something's finished.
It means something's finished over there. Would you like me to put on something else?
Yeah, Cheer Up Awards. They kind of did the job for when we were kids, because it was like, I didn't win, but I still get this piece of chocolate or whatever it was. It was usually something to make you feel a bit less miserable.
Oh yeah, it's something that's bad for you. Naturally, they give you bad things, and you're supposed to feel good about it.
So yeah, but what you should do is you should not compare.
I picked a bad time to try to find something to put on because we're in the middle of the podcast.
You should not compare your child to other children, but you can compare your child to your child and point out their progress.
So you have to keep talking because I'm focusing on.
So if Johnny is not. Is being messy when he eats and it bothers you and you have a problem with that, because I don't really have a problem with that, and unless the children are like, I don't know, 10 years old, when they should have the full control of their upper limbs and they should be able to eat normally.
Sometimes I wonder if some adults have that control.
Yeah. So if you're bothered about that, then you don't compare them to Mary, because Mary eats nicely and you eat like a piggy, but you compare them to themselves, right? You can say, well, hey, can you try and make a bit less mess? And then when you see progress, you point it out. You say, oh well, look at that. Johnny didn't throw any letters on the floor this time. That's really cool. I don't have to swipe it out.
Second. Zara, you're going to have to wait a minute because we're still doing the podcast. Can you wait 5 minutes before I put something on? If you don't want Charlie Brown, then you're going to have to wait because I'm not an octopus here. So I am limited. Okay, she says okay. Right. So hard to please people.
So sometimes. You can compare your kid to themselves. You can say, you've done better than you've done last time. And that gives them a little bit of encouragement, and it shows them that improvement is possible. That it's not a fixed thing. It's not like, oh, I'm messy and they're not. It doesn't have to be that way, because when you just tell them you're messy and Mary is not messy, that's all you're doing. You're just fixing the behavior in place.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you the greatest mark of achievement is bettering yourself, basically.
Yeah.
So
I've read a quote once.
Did you?
Which was
just once.
Look in the mirror, and think to yourself, "This is my greatest competition."
What, me?
and then act accordingly. Yeah.
It's Michael Jackson.
It's basic. Yeah.
It's Michael Jackson.
Did Michael Jackson say that?
He said the man in the mirror.
Ah, all right. Yeah. So if you look at the man in the mirror, or the woman in the mirror, or the kid in the mirror, or the goat in the mirror, or whatever is in the mirror, you look at the mirror and you think, this is the competition that I have to top today and do better.
As I pull up the collar. Okay, sorry. Right. Anyway, never mind.
Unless you do the crotch move, it doesn't count.
I can't do that. I can't do that.
Because you don't have the balls to do that.
I don't even know what to say to that. I really don't know what to say to that. Right.
Just being rudely funny.
I'm laughing at your own jokes as well, which is...
Because you're not laughing. Everybody is laughing, you just can't see them. They're all there behind the monitors going, ha, that was a good one. Aren't you guys? See? Told you.
Yeah. I'll tell you what amuses me. It amuses me when you use your tummy as a drum.
I know.
Every now and then you go... Bum, 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 bum.
It's so drum-like. It is drum-like.
Give you some sticks.
Still. No. Be gentle with my Jabba. What's her name? Jabba.
Dingula. They've all got weird names. I don't know.
Jabba the Hutt.
Okay, there we go. Right.
Yeah.
Same family as Pizza Hut, probably. Anyway, right, that's enough. Enough already, I say. Right, we've done more than enough. We've given them more than enough information to work on. And
yes, we've shown them
ideas.
Our biceps, and we've told them
I got tricep. Yeah.
About our...
Look at that. You see that?
I don't have any. I see yours. See, I've got a little one here, but I have to work on that.
That's just a shadow.
Well, it's the shadow of a tricep.
My tricep's so big it casts a shadow.
I'd show you my glutes, but you'd have to move the camera.
I don't even know what that is, and I'm not sure that I want to know. So, there we go. Yeah, this has been...
Educational.
Yes, thank you very much. This has been the Practical Parenting Podcast. More information online, the Academy of Language Therapy and Life Coaching on YouTube and on Facebook, and website www.nsa-slovakia.com. She
and
is
www.21centurymom.
There you go. When's your next blog coming out?
I have neglected my blogging.
What?
But my next blog is coming out in 2 days. Slacker.
It better be a good one.
Yeah, it's gonna be great.
It better be. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. Okay, thank you very much for tuning in. There'll be another practical podcast, and we've got the amazing parenting, and we've got edits of things, and
he does really good remixes, so you might want to just check out our remix. This is usually a lot of yabba going on, and he usually just takes out the most important from all the yabbing. And,
well, that's the future
remix, right?
That's the future project. Now that we're actually speaking, now that we're actually talking sense, right?
Are we?
No, but just imagine that we are,
okay.
right? The power of the human imagination.
Yeah,
unstoppable. I know. Well, we'll put out long form content, and I will snippy chop, and
you're doing that already, though. You've got that nice remix graphic, and you do that with some things. I mean, like when we do an intelligent podcast, you kind of take out the intelligent bits and put them together. Or sometimes he takes out the funny bits and puts them together, or whatever, right? No?
Yes.
Yes.
Right. That was well explained.
Yeah. So
yes.
So check those out as well if you want.
Do it.
We're not gonna force you.
Do it. I am. Do it, or we will send
Weenie Pig
to
whack you over the head with my invisible whacker.
That sounds torturous. Okay, you've probably scared the people. Too close to Halloween.
Good.
Right. Anyway, Dude it done. All
Have a good
organized.
day.
Say bye
Thank
to
you
the
for
people
watching,
online.
and we will see you next time. And I'm already looking forward to that. And I'm going to write that blog post as soon as I'm finished with that translation.
Okay. Say bye to the people online.
Bye, people.
Bye bye.
I did the jazz hands.
Have you seen the way Jazzy runs?
No. Oh yeah.
Excellent.
With her
And
butt
she sticks her butt out, and she fixes one hand to her chest,
out.
and waves her
Punches
other
the
arm
other.
like she's punching, and she runs. It's great. It's just like you.
Oh, shut up. I don't stick my butt out when I run. I might be
No,
doing
no,
a punching motion.
On the rare occasions when I've seen you run, you definitely do stick your butt out.
Do I?
Yes, you lean forward.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you lean into it, and your elbows go out, and your butt goes out.
Well, I have to put a hand on my chest because I have to hold my my feminine appendages so that they don't bounce.
Well, you're not going to bounce away. I mean,
Oh no, but it's not very comfortable to have them bouncing up and down while you're running, right? So you just want to kind of stabilize the situation there. No?
I'm speechless.
No?
I'm speechless. Why don't you wear a sports bra?
Because I don't always know when I'm going to be running, like when I'm running to a bus. I just wear
We'll
normal
get there
bra.
earlier. Don't be late.
Oh, stop moralizing. Turn off the podcast.
Okay. Say bye to the people on the podcast.
See ya. I mean, hear ya.
Funny.